All right. Hey, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. We've got a really, really good call that we're going to listen to today and break down. Got a special guest on. Super excited to have her. I've had the opportunity to just meet with her, talk with her over the years, and she is excellent. Anytime she speaks, people lean in and they listen because she knows what she's talking about. So with that being said, Rachel, give us the 30 seconds overview of who you are and what you do.
Perfect. So I'm Rachel Lovell. I'm the Vice President of People Operations at Ascend. I oversee the driver recruiting sector, the HR group. So all things people operations all roll under me. So thank you again for having me.
Oh, of course. Gosh, our pleasure. Like I said, probably didn't even need an introduction. You're well decorated in the recruiting space. So we appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to jump in, and I'll pause the call at different points just so we can chit chat. And if there's a spot where you wanted me to pause it, just throw your hands up or something and let me know, and we'll pause it. I will say the call, like always, has been re-recorded. Okay, so different voices. So there's going to be times throughout the call when we're listening that names are blocked out, certain lanes are blocked out, or pay, right, just to protect the innocent. Just expect that, right? There'll be some quiet spots in there just because we're bleeping out certain things. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and we'll pause it as we go and talk. Sound good? Awesome.
Sounds
All right.
good.
I'm going to hit play.
Welcome to driver recruitment. For quality assurance purposes, your call may be monitored and recorded. To continue, please press 1. Please hold while your call is being transferred.
Recruiting. Can I put you on a brief hold?
Yes.
Thanks.
All right, so right away, I think a lot of fleets don't always realize that before the recording even kicks in, there was 30 seconds of pure silence that driver was listening to. So I'm curious, Rachel, how do you coach recruiters on this situation, right? Where maybe they're on the other line, but they want to make sure they're not missing that driver's phone call. So how do you coach them to handle these situations where they're putting one driver on hold to talk to another driver? What do you think the best way to handle that is?
So I think a lot of that has to do with how you've got your group set up and how familiar, engaged, and just educated your team is. So everybody can't answer every single phone call, but if you have sell sheets to say, hey, if the phones are busy and you grab a line and it's not a driver for you or everybody else is on the phone, go ahead and start that initial conversation. Have that information right in front of you. So if the driver's asking about something that you're not a specialized recruiter at, you can still pretty much talk a little bit about it. We do ask our recruiters not to try to put everybody on hold just to pull up all the lines. And then that way that's kind of the hungry hippo approach where they're trying to take all the phone lines to work. You've got to give that driver the undivided attention. So if that means sacrificing a missed call, you've got to be able to trust your team that they're going to go back and answer that phone call for you and then work that lead. So I think a lot of it has to do with education, just making sure that everybody's well prepared, and then also just re-coaching that phone etiquette and understanding why.
I like it. I think those are really, really good ideas. And if you do have to put somebody on hold like that, I think even providing a very quick explanation at least helps a little bit, right? Hey, is it okay if I put you on hold? I'm wrapping up another phone call, but yours is really, really important, so I want to make sure to wrap that up and get right back with you. To me, that would make me feel a little bit better than, hey, can I put you on hold? Click, right?
Right. And one thing, I know we're going to critique the phone call, but one part of the phone call that really stands out to me is the hold music. Why not have some informative information there that maybe, have you heard about our new pay package? Have you heard about our new benefits? Have you taken advantage of these offerings? Go to the website to learn more. Go read this blog that we've got up there. utilize that time that may be a downtime to be informative, put more information out there. They may not even know to ask about it, or that it may be a selling point that you don't necessarily drive home during the first initial call, but it's out there so they think, wow, they really are, employee engaged, people obsessed, those types of things. It always keeps the brain going, and it's not just the same old hold music.
Love it. Super, super smart, right? And I think there's actually research around this that shows that time passes more quickly when they feel like they're listening to something of value versus just kind of generic hold music, right? So really, really smart. Okay, well, I'm going to hit play then. We'll see how long it takes for the recruiter to pick back up. It's been about 30 seconds. They're putting them on hold again, and then we'll see how long it takes for them to pick up.
Perfect.
All right. Sorry about that.
All right, so it was about 1 minute and 10 seconds of hold, right? Since the recruiter initially picked up, put them on hold again, 1 minute and 10 seconds. All right. So we'll jump into the meat of the call now by listening to the actual conversation between the two of them. So here we go.
How can I help you?
Well, my name's and I'm a fresh graduate from truck driving school. I did fill out an online application. I just haven't heard back from anybody. I was wondering if you guys were still training or...
And what's the phone number on your application?
All right, so I'm going to pause it already because there's something about that intro that drives me nuts already, which is, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it, which is the driver just got done explaining that they just finished school, right? So what an opportunity for the recruiter to congratulate them, show some excitement, but instead the first thing out of the recruiter's mouth is a question that has to do with basically qualifying the driver to a degree. And I don't know, what do you think about the introduction, Rachel?
Absolutely. That was one of my first initial takeaways was no celebration of graduating truck school. Graduating any kind of school is a big accomplishment or an achievement. And we know how the market is. We know how we don't have the amount of drivers coming into the trucking industry like we once did. And this is an opportunity to connect with that individual, connect on a personal level. Congratulations. I can't wait for you to see what all the industry has and has to offer for you. You're going to get to see all the world and get paid to do that. All these different opportunities they just missed out on by just saying, okay, what's a good phone number? Okay, didn't really even ask the name again. Or to ask, who am I speaking with today? So it kind of gets that personal connect. And I think that's where so many opportunities are missed because we don't connect on the personal level at the very beginning.
Totally agree, right? Big missed opportunity there to be memorable in the driver's mind, right? Because we find out later in this call that this isn't the only fleet they're talking with, right? So, yes, who's going to stick out in the driver's mind is going to be the person who really took the time to get to know them, right? To make them feel good.
No impact.
Right, no impact at all.
You missed your impact.
Exactly, yep, 100%. So maybe the recruiter recovers. Let's keep listening and we'll find out.
It's...
Okay.
I mean, maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. Or pushed the wrong button. I just don't know.
So that phone number didn't pull up anything. What did you say your first and last name was?
And that's spelled... I wonder if I did something wrong, if I need to do it again.
What's the last four of your social?
They're...
Yeah, I don't see it. What did you go to, did you say?
It's in. I just graduated last week.
And is that in or
And
on
one,
way?
yes. And one of your, well, we had a video conference with somebody from the office, I believe. And, just telling us about your guys' benefits. And it seemed like a real.
All right, so a lot of bleeped out there, right? A lot of silence that wasn't on the original call, but once again, want to protect everybody who's on that phone call. But gosh, that recruiter was intent on finding the application as opposed to being intent on talking to the driver, right? I don't know.
Right.
How do you coach recruiters there when it comes to, because there is a balance of, you want to, if the driver did do an application, you want to pull up their information, and that way you can have a conversation about what you already have on file. But how do you balance that with just having a normal conversation with someone?
Right, and you want to make it unscripted. So that's part of the coaching and the recruiting experience is, number one, if first you get the driver's first name and last name, get an area of where they're at. We all have caller ID, so be writing that phone number down. Multitasking is one of the biggest attributes that someone could have in recruiting, because you're going not even nothing. So getting the phone number and getting the name, but not making it like it's a script and it's a check the box. And after the first attempt, if I can't get the driver pulled up in my ATS system, we're putting in a phone app. We're not going to keep going through and asking this and asking that. Well, where did you put the app in at? Where did you go? Who did you say you talked to? None of that. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's get you a phone app in. And reaffirming with that driver, you did nothing wrong. It may be that it's lost in translation. You may have a very similar name, whatever the case may be. Don't worry about it. We'll get you taken care of right now. Taking care of someone and being the problem solver goes and makes the positive impact 10 times more than trying to find out all these questions. You ask a bunch of questions, they're going to get irritated. They're either going to hang up or you've lost that engagement.
Right. Oh, I think that's such good advice, because it's about the experience that the driver's having, right? And yes, okay, we couldn't pull it up right away, but move on, right? We're, almost more than halfway through the call already, and we've lost all this opportunity to engage with the driver because we're worried about trying to find something they did or didn't do. And maybe the driver's just confusing this company with other companies they filled out an app for. Move on, right? So I think that's really, really
exactly.
good advice.
Exactly. You want to make it easy. You want to make it effortless. So asking all these questions and making all these jumps or these hoops that they've got to jump through is not making it easy. It's not making it effortless. It's kind of getting aggravating almost in a way. And you want to keep them excited. You want to keep them happy, and let's take care of you.
Awesome. I love it. Well, let's see if the recruiter does it. We'll keep pushing forward here.
Really good place to work.
Awesome. Okay. Well, obviously that is a school that hires from. So, do you know what kind of route you're looking for?
Right now, I'm just trying to get in the business, so over the road is fine. I wanted to stay in the States, but I know there's more money if you go back, I believe. So, I don't know. I'm not sure.
What zip code do you live in?
I had to pause it there again because she just keeps moving forward, right, with trying to find this information out from the driver instead of picking up on the cues that he's dropping about, hey, over the road's okay, I don't really know, I'm open to options. Why not have a conversation about the options as opposed to just, throwing questions at him, trying to find his application? Now, I think with the zip code, she's going to get into options, but I don't know, did you have any additional thoughts on that little clip there?
What really stuck out to me more than that was the fact that the applicant stated, I've heard it's a really great place to work, and it was completely bypassed. That is your prime opportunity to sell how great of an organization it is. Anytime somebody gives you the platform to be able to say, or even the door cracked, I'm busting that thing wide open. For myself personally, 16-year veteran of the company. It's my first job ever. I love this place. I'm the cheerleader. that's what your recruiters are. They're selling the position, they're selling the company, they're selling your culture. That was prime opportunity that was missed, even worse than it was at the very beginning on talking and celebrating the driver graduating school. So I think that was the biggest red light to me, was just missing the opportunity on it's a great place to work at.
Great catch. And that's why I love doing this with someone else, right? Because I don't think I heard that the first time I listened to it, right? But you're absolutely right. The driver was complimenting, right, the fleet, and the fleet, I mean, the driver teed it up, put a big fat right there on the tee for the recruiter to hit it, and the recruiter just bypassed it, right? Great.
Bypassed. All they're worried about is the zip.
Oh my gosh, great find. All right, we'll keep going.
Yeah, I live in.
So in your area, right now we would just have the over the road, which is 2 weeks out and 2 days home, or a fleet, which is 18 days out, 3 days home, or teaming, which is also 2 weeks out, 2 days home.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I need to redo my application. I must have done something wrong and get all my information in there.
No, that's okay. I mean, if you wanted to go through a full application, it's all over the phone anyway, so we could do that really quick.
Well, I'm 2 weeks out, 2 days home.
All right, so we'll pause it there, because when I first listened to the call, I kind of made columns of strengths and opportunities, and I did think it was good that the recruiter put it out there, like, hey, let's just do the application together. But it was kind of a weak question, right? If it was even a question. It was kind of a suggestion, but it wasn't like, hey, I tell you what, let's do this. How do you feel about that, right? It was just kind of like, we could do this, but the driver was like, I don't know, let's keep moving. I don't know. What did you pick up on in that section there?
Yeah, definitely lost engagement. His tone is completely different than what it once was. It was exciting. It was oversharing. It was multiple times, I think I did something wrong. I'm just excited. I just graduated school. I'm looking for an opportunity, and now it's, I'll see about it. I may just go back and do a whole full application. 9 times out of 10, that driver's not going to put that application back in. You've lost that opportunity. And then going back to the recruiter offering to put the phone app in, finally, it was more of a just suggestion. It wasn't a problem solving, so it's not a solution. It was more of a suggestion in that manner, or that tone.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. But something else that even stuck out worse is if you flood them with too many opportunities, you're not matching them with what they're looking for. So the name of the game is figure out what they're looking for, and do you have that opportunity, or can you match that opportunity? If not, then you need to be upfront with them, but then to say, hey, if home time's really not something you're interested in, you may want to be out for an extended period. This is what I've got for you, because this is what you said at the very beginning you were looking for. If you're looking for more home time, well, this fleet is going to be the perfect fit for you. And then going through the details of that fleet. But just throwing out examples and not really a lot of meat to that example, it was another mess.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because you're right, there was excitement in the beginning of this call on the driver's behalf, but as the call's gone on, that excitement is just dying, right? And this is, I think, about a point in the call where it really begins to shift gears, where I think the driver was genuinely interested in the company. But at this point, it's like the driver's starting to come up with excuses as to why this won't work, right? Where even the option, the driver said in the beginning he was willing to do over the road, but all of a sudden that option's being put out there and he's starting to backpedal, right? Like, ooh, I don't know about this anymore. So we'll keep listening, because, yeah, I think the driver's starting to switch gears going, maybe this isn't what I was looking for to begin with, right?
I mean, I guess that's not that bad.
I mean, if you want to think about it,
do
you
have an
definitely can.
Well, I do have an interview in the morning.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a company that ships out of. And I mean, if that doesn't work out or sound good, I'll call you guys back tomorrow, and then we can do. Hey, because I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
Doing an online
totally
application or doing an application, but definitely.
Not a problem.
And at least I know I did it. At least I know I did it wrong. All right.
Yeah, well depending on how it goes, just give us a call if you change your mind.
I will. I'll let you.
All right.
I'll see what he has to say tomorrow. I'm supposed to meet him at around 8, and I think they want me to come go on a test drive too. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, good luck.
All right. Oh, well, I appreciate
Bye.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
All right. What do you think about that ending, Rachel?
The recruiter not engaging with the driver's talking about, hey, I've got this other opportunity that's lined up tomorrow. You've missed the driver then. The driver's pretty much telling you, I'm over you. I'm not going to pursue. And then the recruiter talking over the applicant, not letting the applicant finish their sentence. The finally having a positive affirmation at the end of good luck. He was like, oh, well, thank you. You finally have gotten engaged. But there's so many missed opportunities because they didn't make that impact on the very beginning. They didn't have that personal touch. So obviously somebody at the other carrier that the applicant had it lined up made an impact, made a personal touch. They already have him lined up, he or she lined up for a driving test. And if it were I and I was in actively recruiting, I would have been asking, well, what time's your driving test? And I would be going back and putting a note in my ATS system, call this driver back at noon. And say, how'd it go? Is everything like it needs to go? Or did you have any issues? Is there anything I can help you with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we look at 6 months worth of call data, like across a bunch of fleets, these are some really interesting statistics. So 56% of calls are answered, which means there's a lot that go unanswered. But of the 56% that are answered, 50%, so about half, are by the end of the phone call deemed eligible, right? That we didn't hear anything that says they're not interested or not qualified. And then 50% of those that are deemed eligible, they end up in a bucket called no action, right? So half calls are answered. Of the half that are answered, half are eligible. And of those that are eligible, only half end the call with an action item. So to your point, this call fell into that no action bucket, right? Which is, hey, we had a decent conversation, I guess, but this is a driver who should be qualified. They're just out of school, no reason why they wouldn't be. That there was no follow-up scheduled, right? Of, hey, what time is that going to happen? Would it be okay if I called you afterwards to see what you thought? Because we want to make sure that you've got all your options out in front of you so you can make the best choice. Because I'm confident we're going to work together at some points. So maybe it's now, right? I don't know, something, right?
Yeah.
To get follow up with the driver, right? That was a really good lead that just kind of, they let go, right?
Yeah. And sometimes when those kind of conversations happen, sometimes it's the training, sometimes it's needing retraining. Everybody, to knock off the rust and make sure you're at the top of your game, but it's also looking at your team to make sure, are my recruiters overwhelmed? Do I have too many tasks on them so that they can't have that personal, meaningful, engaging conversation? Because the phones are your best friend, but also how you work that conversation, how you maneuver around different and overcome objections. If you're not good with overcoming objections, you're not going to be successful in this until you start getting more familiar with it. And then celebrating, having that conversation, excited for the driver to graduate trucking school. Welcome to the industry. Oh, you've already got a road test set up. That'll be great. So many times you have to look at it at a bigger view than just, these are what you did wrong, fix it. Okay, why did it happen? Why did it go wrong?
Right. No, I love that. Perfect. So as we wrap up then, Rachel, let's say this is one of your recruiters. We could probably give this recruiter, I don't know how many things we pointed out, but let's say 8 different things they could work on. And that could be too many, right? That you try to work on 8 things all at once and it becomes very difficult. So if you had to narrow it down to just one thing that you would work with this recruiter on, what would it be that you think you would get the biggest impact from?
Initial conversation at the very beginning of the phone. How you initiate the conversation, how you pick that phone up. Are you show ready? Are you confident in your job and what you're doing? Are you having a good day or a bad day? If you're having a bad day, let's talk about it because we're going to get you to having a good day. But it's that initial phone call and that initial how you answer it. Are you excited? Are you pumped up? Are you the cheerleader of the company? If not, you're going to have a bad conversation potentially 9 times out of 10. So the impact on the very beginning would be my starting point.
I love it. I love it. And we'll leave it right there. I don't think I can really add much to that. I think that's perfect, right? You set the tone in the beginning, and that recruiter definitely did that, and it wasn't a good tone, and they never quite recovered from it. So we really appreciate you being on, Rachel. Your advice is spot on. Really, really good stuff that you heard in that call. So thank you so much for joining us. I think this will be really, really valuable for anybody that listens in. So we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks. You too.
Right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. We really hope that it's been useful to you, and we hope you come back for more. If you're not already a subscriber, you can do so by clicking that little thing right there so you never miss out on our content. And if you'd like to watch another video, how about this one right here, just for you?